Okay, if you've been trying to buy your first home, 2025 probably felt like, well, like running straight into a brick wall, right? But what if I told you that 2026 could be the year that door finally starts to crack open? We're going to break down how you can turn that dream of owning a home into your reality. I mean, this is the big question on everyone's mind, isn't it? So many of you have been stuck on the sidelines, just watching home prices and feeling completely priced out. It's a really tough spot to be in, but trust me, you are not alone in feeling this way. And here's the number that just proves it. In 2025, first-time buyers, you guys, made up just 21% of the entire market. That's an all-time low. To put that in perspective, historically, that number is usually closer to 40%. So what in the world happened? Yeah, and this quote from Jessica Lautz over at the National Association of Realtors, it just hits the nail on the head. She says people are really just feeling left behind right now. And that's the thing, right? It's not just about stats and figures. It's this very real, gut-wrenching feeling of being left out of a huge part of the American dream. So let's just call 2025 what it was, the homebuyer wall. We're going to dig into the challenges so many of you were up against, because understanding that wall is the first step to figuring out how to get over it. It was basically the perfect storm of financial pressure, wasn't it? You had home prices shooting up, you had those elevated mortgage rates, and then on top of all that, the cost of everything else, rent, student loans, childcare, just made saving up for a down payment feel, well, pretty much impossible. And the result of all that pressure? The average age of a first-time buyer climbed to a record high, 40 years old. Think about that. People are being forced to wait a decade or more to get into their first home. And believe me, that delay comes with a very real price tag. So what exactly is that price tag? Well, get this. Delaying buying a home from your early 30s to your 40s could mean missing out on an estimated $150,000 in equity. We're talking about a typical starter home here. That is a massive financial hit over the long run. Okay, but enough about that big, scary wall. Let's start talking about the door, because honestly, for 2026, there are some real glimmers of hope on the horizon. And that means new opportunities for all of you who have been patiently waiting. So what's actually changing? Three big things. First, mortgage rates are finally starting to come down. Second, there are just more homes for sale, which means you have more choices. And third, more choices means more competition for sellers, which makes them way more willing to negotiate. This is a huge shift in the power dynamic of the market. So, projections are showing that mortgage rates could start easing down towards that 6% range. Now, I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound like a massive drop, but you'd be surprised. Even a small dip like that can make a huge difference in what your monthly payment looks like and what you can actually afford. And what's the real-world impact of that? Well, lower rates could make home ownership affordable for as many as 1.6 million renters. That's a whole lot of people who could finally get off the sidelines and into the game. This, right here, is where the opportunity really starts to open up. All right, so the market is starting to shift in your favor. The big question is, how do you get ready to jump on it? Think of this next part as us building your financial toolkit. We're going to assemble all the essential tools and strategies you'll need for this home buying quest. So, the million-dollar question, where is the down payment money actually coming from? Well, personal savings is still king, no surprise there. But check this out, a quarter of buyers are tapping into things like their 401k or stocks, and another 22% got a gift or a loan from family. The lesson here? It's all about getting creative. Okay, let's talk about your most important tool, the loan itself, because you've got options. If you have great credit, a conventional loan is probably your go-to, and you can sometimes get in with as little as 3% down. But what if your credit score isn't perfect? That's where an FHA loan can be a lifesaver because it's more flexible. And for our veterans and service members out there, the VA loan is just an incredible benefit. We're talking 0% down. The whole point is there's no one size fits all. You've got to find the loan that fits your situation. And hey, don't sleep on assistance programs. Lenders are really stepping up. Bank of America, for example, has grant combos that can give you up to $17,500 for your down payment and closing costs. That's real money. The takeaway? Always ask your lender what kind of help is out there. Okay, you've got your tools. Now you need the map to the treasure, right? So let's lay out the game plan. This is your clear, step-by-step guide with expert advice to help you navigate the whole process. So, lending manager Shelley Jonietz gives us 4 absolutely crucial steps. 1, keep that credit score strong. Higher score, lower rate. Simple as that. 2, keep your debt low. Lenders are obsessed with your debt-to-income ratio. 3, and listen up, this is a big one. You have to shop around for your loan. And 4, think about getting a rate lock. That's basically where a lender freezes your interest rate for a while, so you're protected while you go house hunting. And why am I hammering on that shop around point? Because it's a huge deal. Just by comparing a few different lenders, borrowers save an average of $222 a month. That adds up to over $80,000 over the life of the loan. Seriously, that one step can save you a fortune. Now, here's a really interesting twist in the market that you might not expect. You actually have a new ally in your corner, the home builders themselves. Yeah, really. Let's dig into how these builders are becoming unexpected heroes for first-time buyers. See, builders know things are tough, so they're changing what they build. Just look at this. Townhome construction, which is often a perfect, more affordable entry point, has almost doubled as a percentage of new construction in the last decade. What does that mean for you? More options, in a price range that actually works, and often in great locations with less yard work. Win-win. And they're not just building different homes, they're offering some serious deals. We're talking about a huge chunk of builders cutting prices. And even more are offering incentives like mortgage rate buydowns. Now, a buydown is awesome. It's where the builder basically pays to lower your interest rate for the first couple of years, which makes those initial monthly payments way easier to handle. Okay, so let's tie this all together. What does your home buying outlook for 2026 actually look like? This whole thing has been a quest, right? So let's talk about how you finally reach your destination. I want to circle back to that quote from Jessica Lotz because it really says it all. She talks about slightly improved affordability conditions. Now, slightly might not sound like much, but in this market, it can make all the difference. The bottom line is this. It means there is a real, tangible opportunity for you. Look, the challenges of the last few years, they were absolutely real, no doubt about it. But the winds are shifting, the market is changing, you have new tools in your toolkit, and you've got allies in places you wouldn't expect. That door to homeownership that felt like it was bolted shut, well, it's now officially ajar. So the only question left to ask is, how are you going to step through in 2026?